Okay. So yesterday we have seen different units of speed. Of all those, we have almost three units, that is meter per second, centimeter per second, and kilometer per hour. But we have also seen that only one of those is SI unit. So for normal purposes, you have to use meter per second. But if it is specifically asked in a question that please calculate with the help of centimeter per second or kilometer per hour, then you have to act accordingly. But by default, we'll be taking which unit? Meter per second. Reason? Because that is the SI unit. Now, we have also seen this example yesterday that we had calculated speed for the object. So distance was given 20 meter, time was given 4. So speed, we found out that speed is equal to 20 by 4. So that is 5 meter per second. We calculated that yesterday. Now today we are going to see another topic, and that the name of the topic is some basic problems with speed. Okay, that we'll see. So chalo, let us try to understand this particular point. Now in front of you, there is just this one rabbit. It is trying to cover some distance in some specified time. Okay? So what I did was, suppose let's say you are in a forest and you are observing one rabbit and it is trying to cover some distance at some specified time. Like for example, in case A, it covered 5 meter in 5 seconds. In the case B, it covered 10 meter in 2 seconds. Then it covered 15 meter in 5 seconds. And it covers 2 meter in 10 seconds. Okay? Now, give me a response first. Is this a uniform movement or non-uniform? Uniform hai ki non-uniform hai? What do you think? Is it uniform, non-uniform? Non-uniform. Samruddhi is saying non-uniform. Correct? It's non-uniform. Yes, correct. It is non-uniform. So definitely it is non-uniform. Now what we'll do is I will try to find out speed for case A, and then you tell me the answers for B, C, D. Okay. Now for A, the answer is very simple. Speed is equal to what? Distance by time. So that will be 5 by 5. So that how much will be the answer? That will be 1. Correct. So answer will be for the first case 5 by 5. I have written it here 5 by 5. So 5 by 5, 5 and 5 getting cancelled. The speed is 1 meter per second. For which case? For case A. Okay. Now you take time and tell me the speeds for B, C, and D. For B, C, and D, please calculate and let me know. For B, C, and D, I want three values simultaneously. Do not give me answers one by one. Give comma in your answers and tell me the things. Write down in your notebook first, calculate the things, and give me answers straight away. ठीक है, one comma after the another. For B also, C also, D also. B, C, D के लिए what will be the speeds of these rabbits? Give me response in your chat box. Once you are done after the calculation, give me answers for all of them. Okay. Sanyam, what you are saying, yesterday's recording, okay, that will be available. Don't worry. We'll send that link on the group. Don't worry. Calculate the answers first for these things. Okay. Omkar, what you are writing down? 532.5. Okay. Sonia, what you are writing? Okay, sir. Where is your answer? 532.5. Aditya Zapate 53.20. Okay. 2.5. Bhumi, how come there is only one answer? Okay, okay. Let me calculate it for you. So for speed B, it is definitely 10 by 2. So that would be 5 meter per second. Okay. So 5 into 2. So that would be the answer. Okay. So for speed B, okay, fine. So what I've done is I have made one mistake here. Let me correct that again. Okay, I cannot rub it, but this is definitely how much? 10 by 2. Okay. So the answer would be 5 meter per second. Okay, sorry. Chalo. Next thing for C, the answer would be 15 by 5. So that would be 3. 5 ones are 5 threes are. Correct? And for the last one, 2 by 8. That is 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 answer would be 0.25. Okay? So it's a very simple calculation. That is 2 by 8. Okay. So let me again change that. Okay. So this is how much? This is 8. Okay. And this is going to be 2 by 8, that is 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 is nothing but 0.25. Okay. So this answer is 0.2 and how much? 5. ठीक है. So these are the speeds we received: 1, 5, 3 and 0.25. Give me response in the chat box. Are these your answers? 1, 5, 3 and 0.25. 1, 5, 3 and 0.25. Are these the answers which you have received? Okay, good. ठीक है. So chalo, let us move to the next one now. Now problem is that out of all the speeds which this rabbit has given, suppose let's say sometimes it was 1, sometimes it is, suppose let's say 5, whatever the answers are. But suppose let's say if we ask this rabbit that what is your speed, so it had almost 4 different speeds. It had different speed at A, different speed at B, different speed at C and D. So each time the speed was different, and if we ask him, this rabbit, that what is your speed, so it will say that I had different speed, which one you want. So to solve this problem, if an object is traveling at non-uniform motion, if you want to consider the speed of this object, so we take average of that speed. ठीक है. तो in such cases, what kind of calculation we are trying to find out? We have introduced a new term. It is called as average speed. It is used for objects which change their speed constantly. ठीक है, जिनका speed change होता है. For those objects, what we do? We try to find out average speed. And what is average speed? Definition is average speed is nothing but ratio of total distance and total time. You already know what is speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. So in place of distance, we are saying total distance, मतलब total distance ले रहे हैं, whatever the distance it has covered in the journey. And instead of time, we are taking total time. So average speed is nothing but ratio of total distance and total time. ठीक है. So let me write down in terms of formula. So average speed is equal to total distance by total time. So do one thing, write this down in your notebook, give the title average speed, and write down the definition and the formula. Once you are done, after that we will try to derive the units for average speed. Okay, that will derive. So average speed is nothing but ratio of total distance and total time. Write it down. And give me one response in your chat box while they are writing down. Have you understood where the average speed has to be used in for what type of bodies? Average speed कौन से objects के लिए use करेंगे हम लोग? Or with what kind of bodies will use them? Rishikesh, yes, correct. Non-uniform, correct. Urjit, not clear. Okay, why not clear? It's a very simple one. Suppose, listen to this. If an object is traveling at different speed each movement, so the problem is if we are trying to find out, suppose let's say speed of your car, okay, and you have traveled with different speeds. Sometimes it was 50, sometimes it was 10, sometimes it was 100, sometimes it was 200 kilometer per hour. That was the speed. And later on, I asked you in the night that at what speed you were traveling today, the car. So you are telling me how can I answer that question because I was traveling at different speeds. So in that case, what you can do? You can find out average speed. You will take average. Very simple. So this concept is required for whom? Which concept? For bodies which are non-uniform, which are traveling at different speeds at different moments. You can use average speed in case of regular speed. Okay, is it clear, Rajit, that average speed is to be used only for objects which are traveling at different speeds at different moments? Okay, good. Chalo. So we have written the formula. Now unit for distance is meter, unit for time is second. So this unit for average speed will become, even if it is total and total, that is fine. But what are the units for distance and time? Distance unit is meter, time unit is second. So unit for average speed will become meter per second. Very simple. So unit will be meter per second. We are just using the formula and we are putting the values there. M by S, meter per second. So unit for speed is also meter per second. Unit for average speed is also meter per second. But how do we write meter per second? M by S. So that is the one, M by S. Or yesterday I told you that M by S can also be written as ms raised to minus 1 because the value of second here is plus 1. If we take it to the numerator side, it will become minus 1. So ms raised to minus 1 or M by S. It's up to you how you write it. Both points are correct. Okay, so please write down these units. Below that average speed, you are already written the formula. Write down the units there, meter per second. And once you are done, please let me know. होने के बाद बोल दो. Done? Okay, chalo. So we can move. Now, tell me this. Suppose, let us say we are trying to find out the problem of this rabbit. Last time what we did was we found out different speeds at A, B, C, and D. Now we have understood the concept of average speed, correct? And we have to solve the problem of this rabbit. It is asking us that please find out my average speed. So how we can find average speed? For average speed, we require total distance and total time. So total distance means what? This is the distance covered: 5 meter, 10 meter, 15 meter, 2 meter. So what we'll do to calculate total distance, we will add all of them: 5 plus 10 plus 15 plus 2 for total distance. So that will find out total distance. Kaise nikala? In all the four cases, whatever the distance it has traveled, we have added those: 5 plus 10 plus 15 plus 2. So the answer is 32 meter. What is the second thing we require for average speed? Total time. So total time के लिए क्या करेंगे? We will add the times for all of them: 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8. ठीक है? The bottom, the time which is given in each case, those time we also added. So we receive total time. So total time is 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8. So 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 8, 20. So 20 seconds. Correct? Now, just put these values in the formula. Formula we already have. Average speed is total distance by total time. So what is total distance? 32 by 20. ठीक है? Now, these numbers usually come in the table of what? 4 से divide कर सकते हैं हम लोग. 4 5s are 20, ठीक है? And 4 8s are 32. Correct? So it will become 8 by 5. Have you understood how we have come to 8 by 5? 8 by 5 तक कैसे है पता चला? How we have come to this procedure 8 by 5. ठीक है? This last step. Okay. Now the answer is not done here. We can still divide 8 by 5. We are in 9th standard now, so we cannot just put it in the fraction. So divide it. 5 ones are 5. Point. So how many numbers are remaining? 3. So it will become 30. So 6 are. So the answer would be 1.6. 1.6 meter per second. Are you understanding this answer? How this value has come as 1.6? ठीक है? I hope you are able to calculate 8 by 5. You are in 9th standard now. Simple calculations, division. Okay, good. So the final answer of this rabbit is 1.6. So when we ask this rabbit that what was your speed, so it will not say from A, B, and C and D. It will say my speed is 1.6. Now I can understand that its speed was different in each case, but for our own calculation purpose, we can take the speed of the rabbit as 1.6. Very simple. Chalo. Now, we will try to solve the numerical which is present, a solved numerical in the textbook, with the help of the thing which we have learned now. So we have learned average speed formula, and they have said that an object is traveling 16 meter in 4 seconds and then 16 meter in 2 seconds. They are asking us, please find out average speed. Now it's a very simple thing. What we do for average speed, we require total distance, we require total time, and for finding out total distance, what we do, जितना भी distance दिया है, we just add them. So what is the distance given? 16 meter and 16 meter. 16 plus 16, 32. So 32 is the distance. ठीक है? ये पता चला total distance is 32. Give me response in chat box. Have you understood total distance is 32 in this question? 16 plus 16. ठीक है? And give me your response. What will be the time? Total time कितना होगा? 4 plus 2 कितना होगा? 6 seconds. Okay, good. So that means time is 6 seconds. So let me write it down. Okay, so I have written time also. Now what is the next step? Average speed is equal to, we just divide them total distance by total time. So let me do that. ठीक है? 32 by 6. So answer would be coming as 5.33333. So there is a recurring one. ठीक है? Recurring हो रहा है. But see, the numbers are same. So what we can do? In 9th standard, it is expected that you calculate your answers at least to 2 decimal places. तो point के बाद how many places you are supposed to calculate? 2 decimal places. तो बाकी का तुमने छोड़ दिया तो भी it is fine. But for calculation purpose, for the paper, for the school exams, they are expecting 2 values after point. So we can truncate these values, the remaining 3s, and the final answer would be 5.33. ठीक है? The final answer would be 5.33. Are you understanding this answer? 5.33, how it is coming? Sumedh, you don't need to write this in your notebook. This is just for understanding purpose. लिखो मत, ये जस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए भाई. रिलैक्स एंड अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू कैलकुलेट. ओके, सिया, इट इज नॉट 6. ठीक है, डू नॉट राउंड ऑफ दिस आंसर, दिस इज फिजिक्स, यू आर नॉट सपोज टू राउंड ऑफ द आंसर. यू नीड टू बी एक्यूरेट टू द पॉइंट, करेक्ट आना चाहिए. You should not round off the answer, never do that. No marks will be given for, suppose let's say, rounding of the answers. No marks, it needs a total, what I can say, correct accurate answer. Urjit, what you are asking, sir, can we write bar on 5.33? Not necessary. ठीक है, चलता है. See, this is physics, this is not maths. In maths you will require a bar. For physics it is not required. You just truncate the answers for 2 decimal points and that is sufficient. That is the difference, no, between physics and maths. You can put a bar on that number only if it is mathematics, not necessary in physics. Okay, chalo. So we can go to the next part now. Okay, now question is very simple. They are asking, is speed scalar or vector? Okay. Now, if this kind of question comes, that please tell us whether a particular physical quantity is a scalar or vector, you simply do one thing. You write down the formula first. So speed का formula क्या है? Distance by time. Now, based on whatever the formula are, you first see whether the things which are given in the formula are those scalar or vector. हमको speed का जानना है, but you need to find out first whether the values given in formula are scalar or vector. So you first decide whether distance is scalar or vector, then time, and then you can decide speed. ठीक है? Now, distance, we already know it is a scalar quantity. What about time? Time is also a scalar quantity. So both the things which are present in the formula of speed are scalar. So speed will also become scalar. If any of the distance or time was vector, then speed would have been vector. But as distance and time are scalar, speed will also be scalar. Are you understanding this fact? That why speed is scalar? Because in the formula, the values are all scalar, so it cannot be vector. समझ में आ रहा है ये? If there was displacement in the formula of speed, yes, then it would have been vector. But right now, there is just distance by time, both are scalars. Understanding? Neelavar, what you are not understanding, not getting. Okay. See, you can just try to find out the whether it's a scalar or vector based on formula. As the formula is given, speed is equal to distance by time. Distance is scalar, time is scalar, so speed will also become scalar. Because speed is dependent on distance and time, right? If distance and time doesn't have direction, then how come speed will have it? Understanding? Neelavar? Okay, good. Chalo. So we have come to the point that we have understood that speed is a scalar quantity. Can you please write down this in your notebook? Speed is a scalar quantity, very much required. ठीक है, ये याद रखना बहुत जरूरी है, because a common question will come in the exam. Difference between speed and velocity, that will come. That is the next topic. ठीक है, so what we have understood today, a very important topic, that is average speed. Average speed topic we have understood, which is required for bodies which are traveling at non-uniform motion. Okay, chalo. Let us move to the next one now. So we have seen that speed doesn't have direction, right? But today we are going to introduce a new physical quantity which has direction. Means suppose let us say a certain student is traveling to east direction with a speed of 50 km per hour. But in physics we don't have such quantity, correct? Till now we have seen there is only speed. So suppose if a student says I'm traveling at 50 km per hour, he can travel in any direction. He can travel in east, west, south or north. But that is only speed, because speed doesn't have direction. But we have a separate physical quantity which can take into account speed also and direction also. Direction bhi rahega uske andar. So that quantity is called as velocity. So velocity, we'll try to understand what is velocity. So why we have introduced a new concept, velocity? Speed was already there. Speed was telling us what, how slow or fast a body is. Velocity will also give us idea ki how fast or slow a body is. But the main difference between velocity and speed is what? Speed doesn't have direction, but velocity has direction. Means I can just say this in normal terms for your understanding. Speed has no direction, only it gives you value, how fast or slow body is. But velocity will give you speed also and direction also. Both the things it will give. So I can just say that velocity is a more advanced version of speed. Okay? Velocity is a more advanced version of speed. Are you understanding the difference between speed and velocity? Why we have introduced the concept of velocity? Okay, good. ठीक है, चलो. So we can move on. Yes, please write this down in your notebook. ठीक है. These things I want you to have. Speed is equal to no direction. Velocity speed plus direction. Please have this in your notebook. And you have to use your text, this notebook extensively for revision purpose. Short, see, if these points are available in our notebook in a shorter way, it becomes easy for us to revise. For that, we are writing down. Because for these points, then you have to read the whole paragraph from the textbook. It will be a lot of waste of time. So instead, just read from the text notebook, from our notebook, class notebook. Ho gaya. That will be your final revision. Why to waste time? Written? Let me know in the chat box. Have you written this? Ho gaya kya? Ittu sato statement hai. How much time you are taking? Done? Okay, good. Chalo. Now, velocity definition we'll see. See, definition of speed was speed is the rate of change of distance, correct? So we will keep the rate word as it is, but in velocity we will use the word displacement. So in place of distance, we are going to use the word displacement. Speed is the rate of change of distance, but velocity is the rate of change of displacement. It is the rate of change of displacement. मतलब speed के अंदर क्या है? Distance है. And what is present in velocity? Displacement. That is the difference. That is one of the reasons why velocity has a direction. Velocity को direction क्यों है? Because you know displacement has direction, but distance doesn't have direction. ठीक है? So velocity will depend on what? Displacement. This is the definition. Please write down in your notebook. Velocity is the rate of change of displacement. ये लिख दो. Written this part, velocity is the rate of change of displacement. लिख दिया. Sumedh, your doubt that what if displacement is zero, we will talk about this much in detail. Right now, we are just looking on the concept. We are not seeing when the displacement is zero or what. We will talk about it later. Okay, chalo. Written, fine. Now we will go with the actual formula. Okay. So what is the meaning of rate? That we know, any quantity divided by time. Rate का मतलब क्या होता है? Any quantity divided by time. But what they are saying, rate of change of displacement. So what will come in the numerator's place? Displacement will come. Rate word we have used, that is time. Displacement will come to the numerator. So I will just replace that. So velocity is equal to displacement by time. Everybody agrees with the formula? From the definition, we have made a formula. Does everybody agree? Velocity is equal to displacement by time. Agreed? Okay, ठीक है. So write down this formula in a notebook, and we will derive the units also. What is the unit of displacement? Meter, time, seconds. So this will become meter per second. So very simple. Unit will become meter per second. So speed and velocity both have same units, meter per second. Write down this unit in your notebook. Unit of displacement is meter, unit for time is second, so it will become meter per second. Chalo. Okay, so it can also be written as m by s, or the same way I told you, ms raised to minus 1, that you already know. Okay, so no need for what I can say explaining this part, ms raised to minus 1, you already know that. Now question is whether velocity is a scalar or vector quantity. Now I told you how to judge whether a quantity is a scalar or vector. First we write down the formula, and then we will see what is present in the formula, whether those are scalars or vector. Now according to our info, formula is velocity is equal to displacement by time. To find out whether velocity is scalar, first we should understand whether displacement and time is scalar or vector. Time we already know, it is scalar. And displacement is a what quantity, scalar or vector? Displacement कैसा है, scalar है कि vector है? Vector है, correct? So as displacement is vector, velocity will also become what? Vector. एक के पास भी, see, in all the formula, even if there is a presence of one vector, that entire quantity will become vector. So that means even though time was scalar, but one quantity is present here, that is displacement, which is vector. Hence velocity will also become vector. So velocity is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. Understood this concept? Why velocity is a vector quantity? Because it depends on displacement, and displacement is a vector quantity. समझ में आया ये? Give me response in chat box. Have you understood why velocity is a vector quantity? Okay, ठीक है, चलो. So please write down in your notebook, velocity is a vector quantity. चलो चलो चलो, be fast. We have to take 2 sessions today. This also and the next one also. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is, we are going to understand something called as, this is maths concept, but we will try to complete it. That what is the meaning of average? It is known by another word also. It is said as arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean and average, these are same words. ठीक है, average का मतलब भी same है, arithmetic mean का मतलब वही है, average. ठीक है, so these are the two words I want you to understand. These are going to be required for our next definition. So average or arithmetic mean. Now this has been taught to you in your lower grades, that is 8th and 7th, in terms of statistics in mathematics. I don't know how many of students of you remember this, but I will revise it for you. Okay, so let us try to understand average or arithmetic mean. Now suppose in an exam there are 4 subjects. So okay, for 4 subjects you received these many marks: 60, 70, 80 and 50. So 4 subject marks have been given, they are out of 100. तो 100 में से कितना मिला तुमको 4 सब्जेक्ट में? 60, 70, 80 and 50. And I asked you, please tell me your average score. What is your average score? So how will you find out average score? You will add all of these, that is 60, 70, 80, 50, and you will divide by how much? 4, because average is calculated how? Average formula is very simple. For average, what you need? Total marks. ठीक है, तो for total marks you have to add 60, 70, 80 and 50, and you will divide by number of subjects. कितने subjects हैं? So 260 total is there. 60, 70, 80 and 50. The total is 260 marks, and 260 has to be divided by how much? 4 to get average score. So what is the formula for average? Total, that is addition, divided by number of observation. Number of observation मतलब number of quantity. So how much was our quantity? 4. And total means sum. So sum तो कर लिया हमने, we did it. How much it is? 260. And what is the quantity? 4. So average will become 260 by 4. 260 by 4. From where this 4 has come? Total subjects were 4, no? So quantity, number of observations are 4, and the addition 260. So answer will become 65 marks. So you received how much average score? 65. So are you understanding this concept? How 65 is coming? समझ में आ रहा है ये? 65 कैसे आ रहा है? Okay, so it is known by 2 words. What are the 2 words? Average, and it is also known by another name, that is arithmetic mean. Okay, can you do one thing? In your notebook, can you please write down this particular formula? This one. I've just highlighted for you this one. Average is equal to total by number of observation. ठीक है, ये please लिख लो, because this is a maths concept from your lower grade, required by us for solving many numericals. So please write it down. Average is equal to total slash number of observations. Slash means was divided by. And title क्या लिखना है? Please write down the complete title. Average or arithmetic mean. Average or arithmetic mean. So we are not going into detail that why it is called as arithmetic and all. Just write down the topic, because average has been taught to you in your lower grade. So you already have some basic idea. Written with the formula, average is equal to total by number of observations. Done? Anushka, yes, please write it in a notebook. लिख दो, लिख दो. पूछ क्या रहे हो? लिख दो. Important है. Jayesh, done. Okay, fine. ठीक है. Now we will see if we can complete the next part. Okay, yes, we can complete definitely. We have some time. So देखो, for speed, how we solved the problem of speed? There was one problem of the speed, and we have solved it with the help of average speed, correct? So in the same way, a body might be traveling with different velocities at different time. So we can solve that issue with the help of average velocity. As you have speed and average speed, you have velocity and average velocity. तो और एक बार है. Now, before going into average velocity, I want to tell you some things. ठीक है? Usual notation. Like for example, can you tell me the letter which is used for representing force? Force को कैसे represent करते हैं? From your lower grade, 8th standard. How is force represented? Which letter do we use? F. Okay. Capital F, right? Rushikesh, not N. N is the unit, Newton. I'm asking about the way it is represented. F, capital F, right? That is force. Yes, yes, yes. In the same way. So that is the usual notation. So some student cannot use, suppose letter A or B or C for force. They have to use the actual notation, that is F. So in the same way, we are going to have some notations in our class 9, which has to be used. So suppose let us say a car is traveling from one place to another. It had some velocity 4 before some time, and after some time, like traveling some distance, the velocity became 9 meter per second. Okay? So initially it had 4, later on it became 9 meter per second. So this is the initial velocity is 4 meter per second and final velocity is 9 meter per second. ठीक है, so 4 is initial, 9 is final. तो बाद में की velocity is how much? 9. Initial it was 4. So how to represent 4? So 4 is represented with the help of letter U. Initial velocity is represented with the letter U and final velocity is represented with the letter V. And both of these are smaller, small letters, small u and small v. Both of them are velocity. But what is u? Initial velocity. And what is v? Final velocity. I want you to remember them and write down in your notebook. Give me response first in your chat box. Have you understood that these symbols are to be used for initial and final velocity? Small u, small v. That is the point we are trying to understand here. Okay, these are standard things. Do not change it. These are to be used for solving every numerical. Initial velocity, final velocity, u and v. Okay, good. Okay. So please write it down. Initial velocity is equal to u, final velocity is equal to v. I don't want you to write down the above part. Just write down this one. Initial ये इतना ही लिख दो. हो गया. Okay. Done? Okay, chalo. Now, what we'll do is we'll try to understand this definition tomorrow. Now we will be stopping here because you have already gone through many complicated topics. Actually, I want to take this topic right now, average velocity, but problem is that you already have exhausted many of your, what I can say, capacity, brain capacity in trying to understand what is average speed. Also, you understood what is whether speed is a vector or scalar. Also understood if velocity is scalar or vector. So we will end our session at this because we have already understood many complicated topics today. I don't want to overrush your brain. So tomorrow we'll be taking example of what examples of average velocity and like what is the definition, how we can find out. Okay? Okay. And do one thing. See, we have another session, I think at 6:30, right? For Homi Baba. So we might take it before 10 minutes, right? 6:20 or 6:25, we might begin. So be in touch with your group. I will let you know. But at least we'll have a gap of 10 minutes. ठीक है? 10 मिनट का gap लेंगे. ठीक है? And yes, just 1 minute.